Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Today we are going to proceed with our chapter 4 on how to design effective learning strategies for occupational safety and health training. First of all, we will go for the introduction on how to design the learning strategies, the importance why we need to have an effective learning strategies while we design our training, and overview on the key components of designing learning strategies in OSH training. For 4.1, we will go through on how to write performance objectives. First of all, we will go through what is how written performance objective, the importance and the techniques on how to write effective performance objectives. Definition of writing performance objectives. It is referring to the specific measurable goals or targets that we want to document, and how are we going to evaluate our students' performance. And these objectives outline what an individual or a team that is expected to complete at the end of the trainings. And besides that, when we have a written performance objectives, we will make our trainings more focused and clearer for the audience. Why is it important to have a written performance objective in OSH trainings? Several reasons. First, it provides clarity and focus. With the written performance objective, it gives us clear guidelines and a clear expectations that we are going to obtain at the end of the OSH trainings. Second is the goal alignment. Performance objective in OSH trainings help us to align the needs of the individual, and at the same time we will need to align to the organizational and regulatory requirements. By outlining the desired outcomes, certain objectives in the training can be addressed with the specific needs of the job or the requirements of the workers. Besides that, the importance of a written performance objective in OSH training is on the measurement and evaluation. It provides accountability and motivation, which give clear performance objective that holds between the participant and trainers for them to achieve the desired learning goals. Training design and resource allocation. With a specific written objective, we will know that at the end of the day, we can identify the specific content or activities or assessments that is going to supplement to the trainee or the audience. And at the same time, with the written performance objective that we have in our OSH trainings document, it provides continuous improvements, meaning that by comparing the achieved outcomes with the objective that has been set at the early stage of the training, some areas of improvements, some weaknesses, or um, some aspect can be improved from time to time. These are some techniques. How are we going to write effective performance objective for OSH trainings? When we write performance objective for occupational safety and health training, it is essential to use effective techniques, which we will like to ensure that we have a clear and an objective that can be measured. First of all, first technique, it has to be specific and concrete. For the example, we need to use some specific actions verb that describe observable behaviors, like we want to identify, we want to apply, we want to analyze, and we need to avoid some ambiguous language that lead some misunderstandings for the trainers as well as to the training. Use measurable criteria. How are you going to use measurable criteria? Measurable criteria helps to evaluate participants' performance by having a set of assessment. Next, techniques for writing objective performance also need to ensure on the set realistic and attainable goals. For example, Participants will be able to develop an effective emergency evacuation plan for a small office setting within 2 weeks of training. So we have here, we set a certain realistic timeline, or we set a certain realistic goals that audience or the trainee should be able to achieve at the end of the day. And of course, any effective writing of performance objective in OSH trainings, we have to make sure that it is aligned to the OSH standards and regulations. Like for in Malaysia, we are referring OSH Act and as well as the FMA. However, OSH Act is the main textbook, while the FMA, if you plan to have your trainings related to skills or training related to the use of machines. Incorporate application and practical skills. Okay, for example, participants will be able to conduct a comprehensive risk assessment for a specific work process, or participants should be able to identify hazard, or participants should be able to identify types of control measures that they may want to apply at the certain jobs that has been conducted. And when we write effective performance objective, we need to also consider job relevance, and last but not least, it has to be reviewed and revised from time to time. We will continue our next lesson with content outline. What is content outline? When we design our trainings, we need to ensure that we have a specific content. And why is it important for us to have a well-organized content outline? And what are the techniques to develop content outline for OSH training? The definition of a content outline. What is content outline? Normally, in any materials or in any document of a training, we will start with a table of content. In the table of content, as you can see, there is numbers, there is topics, chapters, or subtopics. Eventually, we provide a certain hierarchical structures. As we know that people learn according to the cognitive learning development, or people learn according to their certain level of how they process informations. So first of all, of course, we will start with the lower level of how people learn, which we have to provide knowledge, and then we will next go to the whether they understand or not, and then we go to the next level whether they can apply and they can synthesize and they can analyze with the knowledge that has been given to them. In other words, content outlines will give a structure or presenting logical informations in a coherent manner so that our audience have some ideas what they are supposed to learn throughout the trainings that we will going to provide. So the purpose of content outline is, yes, is give you some ideas of the topic that you're going to learn, facilitates the flow and enable readers, enable learners to navigate or to follow your class or follow your trainings easily, and they can adjust their understandings according to the flow of your training times. Besides that, the definitions of content outline, a content outline typically includes this kind of a following elements with normally we're gonna have the main topics, and then we have subtopics, and besides that, we should also need to have a key points and hierarchy of structure. Why is it important to have a well-organized content outline? So these are the reasons. Because we provide a clarity and a structured framework for our audience to follow our training class. It should be focused and relevant, and a comprehensive coverage, meaning that from the content outline, it gives some ideas for the audience to understand the whole flow of our training. It helps prevent important concepts or ideas from being overlooked or omitted, providing entire complete treatment of the subject. It's a user-friendly navigation. Okay, the outline enhance the users to experience by facilitating easy navigation through the content. Time and resource efficiency. Content creators can work more efficiently by referring to the outline as a guide. So in other words, it gives you some guidance and it minimizes the need to extend certain revisions or certain time to rework or to develop a structured and coherent manner from the outside. Collaborations and communication is a tool that can be used for a collaboration among content creators, subject matter experts, as well as stakeholders. So that are the why is it important to have content outline. Techniques for developing a content outline for OSH trainings. All right. Here are some of the techniques that can help you to create an effective content outline for OSH trainings. You need to identify training goals, first of all. And then you need to identify what type of knowledge, what are the skills and competencies that you want to achieve at the end of the training. Of course, we need to conduct training need assessment. All right. Define main topics, break down the topics into subtopics, and organize subtopics hierarchically. Organize a subtopic into hierarchical structure within the each main topic. And then requires careful planning and consideration. Determine the key points, the sequence of the content. You need to consider what are the training methods and activities, and you have to review and refine. Once the content outline is developed, review it for coherence. Is it adjust? Is it aligned to the training goals? And seek some feedback from the content